Hi, good morning. And today is the 13th of February 2022. And every Sunday we like to do a sort of look back at the news from Zimmer and Peacock for this week. And essentially this is that retrospective look back at the week. So one of the first things to mention is we are sponsoring a PhD at the University of Swansea. I generally think this is actually a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in joining ZP. We have a new satellite office at ZP in Swansea. It's on the campus. It's on the 5th floor of their what's called the ILS2 building. It's a really nice location, and we get really excellent access to the university, and we're appreciative of that. And I just want to say hi to Saran, who's come online this morning. Nice to see you, Saran. So yeah, we have a PhD sponsored by Zimmer and Peacock at the University of Swansea. I'm working with a couple of professors there who are really good colleagues of the company, and I really recommend this to anyone who wants to join Zimmer and Peacock. We do get a lot of inquiries, and I do appreciate them, and we appreciate them that people want to join ZP. And for me, one of the best ways of joining ZP is actually do your PhD with us, do a placement with us, do your master's project with us. Even if you're abroad and you find it hard to travel, at least do your master's project with us, because that's a way of interacting with us. It's not fair on people when they leave it to the last minute. They essentially get their degrees and they say, oh, I'm ready to join ZP now. And it's like, I wish you'd contacted us whilst you were an undergraduate so we could have had that kind of extended experience with you. But my recommendation is do take a look at this PhD from Swansea. And it's probably worth saying that we also have a really excellent PhD open at the moment with the University of Birmingham. That's great because it's next to the ZP Coventry site. And we also have a PhD open at the moment at the University of Warwick. And that is completely next to the ZP Coventry site. So at the moment we have 3 PhD placements open. One at Swansea, one at Warwick, one at Birmingham. They're all really close to one of our sites. So obviously the one at Swansea is close to the ZP Swansea site, and the Warwick and the Birmingham one are close to the ZP Coventry site. I just want to say hi to Aftab this morning. Thank you, Aftab, for attending or coming along to the webinar. So that was just the first bit of news from ZP this week. It is a brand new PhD that we've just put up for, let's say, advertising or promotion this week. Now, we did have a really quite an intense ZP Developer Zone webinar this Thursday. So every Thursday at 8 a.m. we haven't missed a beat ever, I think, since we started this. We have our ZP Developer Zone. This week we talked about pH electrodes, we talked about wire CGM, we talked about screen printed electrodes, we talked about the sample in a screen printed electrode being the electrolyte, we talked about sweat sensors, we talked about how to build and operate a screen printed electrode, and we also talked about COVID-19 sensing, and I talked about screen printed electrode versus graphene field effect transistors, and the relative costs. I did make a recommendation that we're making graphene screen printed electrodes at something like €1.99 each at low volume. This is such an order of magnitude less than a GFET system. So GFETs are really expensive to manufacture, whereas we can make graphene screen printed electrodes just so low cost. So at Zimmer and Peacock we love field effect transistors, but in the end all these products have got to get to market, and that's why we always have to talk about the cost of manufacturing as well. So yeah, thanks Saran and thanks Aftab for you guys coming along this morning. Now this is for me really interesting news. So at Zimmer and Peacock we have been developing a nitrate sensor, as many of you will know, for continually measuring the nitrate in soil. This is an excellent product. This is such a product of its time, that nitrate fertilizer costs have gone up. Nitrate fertilizers production is one of the biggest producers of CO2, global CO2. Nitrate fertilizers lead to pollution. So there's so many good reasons for, let's say, monitoring nitrate. And in this study, we have given data before from our nitrate sensors, but in this study it's really interesting because we're measuring the nitrate at 30 centimeters in the soil and at 60 centimeters in the soil. And in this study, we'd almost call it very boring that we were actually able to see that the nitrate at 30 centimeters was changing, but the nitrate at 60 centimeters was not changing. And actually the farmers found this really reassuring, because what it told them was, my crop is actually taking on board the nitrate at 30 centimeters because that's where the roots are, but at 60 centimeters the nitrate's just very stable, not doing very much at all. And this was in line with their hopes that the nitrates weren't leaching down to the 60 centimeters, they were actually getting stopped at 30 centimeters and absorbed by the roots. So it was really nice to kind of hear that feedback. So even when the data is boring, it's actually really interesting to the growers. So good job to the nitrate team, really excited by, what really is a $1 billion product, measuring nitrate. And I think it was really nice as well because we got some sort of government approval or some government reassurance this week as well for our nitrate product. So Zimmer and Peacock, I mentioned Swansea earlier on because we have that PhD at Swansea, we have the office at Swansea, and then this week we met the Undersecretary the Minister of Wales. So he's basically, he's part of the UK government, and Mr. David T.C. Davies came to Swansea, and he met with Zimmer and Peacock, and Zimmer and Peacock gave him a demonstration of our nitrate rod. And because he is in a sort of rural constituency, where he actually represents the people, there's a lot of farming there. He has a river called the River Wye, and he gave us a personal account of how the River Wye does have nitrate problems, and the suspicion is that it's actually runoff from local farms. And so he was really engaged with what we were doing with the nitrate sensor. So it was very nice to be able to demonstrate that to the UK government as well. You really feel that you have something when the farmers tell you it's good, the environmentalists tell you it's good, and the government tells you it's good. You're onto something, let's say. So that was really quite an exciting week for the nitrate sensor. Now, this is just a bit of fun, but it was obviously, I would think this, what I'm showing on the vlog is a picture of the ZP A1 building, but it's in the sunlight, and one of our engineers took this picture, but it just really shows the building in the beautiful sunlight. So it was just a bit of fun just for the social media. But if you're watching the vlog, then I just wanted to thank the engineers who took this picture of ZP's new A1 building in the sunlight. It did look nice, and I thank you very much for this. Something also that was really good this week at ZP, I generally think that at Zimmer and Peacock we offer the best internship opportunities, and so we put a video out on YouTube that was made by one of our interns. She talked about her experiences, how much she loved having her and how much she loved doing her internship at Zimmer Peacock. So it was a very authentic experience for her, and she made a YouTube video for us, and we obviously posted that so that other people who are considering an internship at Zimmer Peacock, they can get a sense of what it's like. I mean, she said it in the video that she was, it was challenging, but she was supported. And, as long as you're up for new challenges, then, an internship at Zimmer Peacock can be a very rewarding experience. For her, before she joined Zimmer Peacock, she couldn't solder. And when she left Zimmer Peacock, she certainly could solder. So, she had some very tangible, positive experiences and new skill sets by coming to Zimmer Peacock. So we really appreciate Ali essentially making that video for us. Also, ZP is actually recruiting interns this year from the University of Southampton. Southampton's unusual. It does have a strong chemistry department, but it actually has a strong electrochemistry department. So I suspect in the future we will actually be sponsoring PhDs with the University of Southampton. But for now as well, we're actually we are offering basically that their students can come to us and do some internships. So that was a sort of a little promotion that we did put out there this week as well. Now, I'm delighted that Aftab is on the line today. So we make this this vlog and podcast. We sort of stream it live. As you could probably tell, there's no real rehearsal. It's just a genuine sort of delivery of the news that we have for this week. But Zimmer & Peacock is starting to change its business model. So what I mean by that is this, that we have something very powerful in the works. It's called Julie. Julie is a cloud database that allows you to upload electrochemical data, for example, so therefore store the electrochemical data, analyze the electrochemical data, and share the electrochemical data. I think this is very powerful because a lot of lab work, basically sort of the raw data essentially gets lost because, especially at universities and even at startup companies, there's not a centralized place for all of the data. So at Zimmer & Peacock, there's something very powerful called Julie. So what we're now doing is we're selling Julie licenses, but we're actually giving away screen printed electrodes and USB potentiostats with it. So for example, if you get a 12-month subscription to Julie, you will get a free USB potentiostat and 500 screen printed electrodes. So you'll have the potentiostat in order to do the experiment. You'll have the screen printed electrodes to do the experiment upon, and you'll have a 12-month subscription to Julie to go and store your data, so that if you gather your data in the lab, you can easily get your data. You don't even have to carry the laptop home or the lab computer home. As long as you've got an internet connection, you can send the data to the cloud and it will be there, so you can access it essentially wherever you are. So it is a change of model for Zimmer & Peacock, and a 12-month subscription to Julie now comes with a free potentiostat and 500 screen printed electrodes. And I know this seems a bit repetitive, but not everyone can sign up to a 12-month subscription of Julie. So also, if you sign up for a 6-month subscription to Julie, you will actually get just the free potentiostat. So we're willing to sort of experiment with this and find out the best combination of hardware that people need. But essentially, one of the things we're going to be doing going forward is not so much selling screen printed electrodes and selling potentiostats. It's actually giving these things away as a part of a subscription to Julie. So with a 6-month subscription to Julie, you get the free potentiostat. And then I know it's a bit of a sort of theme at the moment now, but lastly, we're saying if you get a 12-month subscription to Julie, we'll actually give you, I do need to correct the page here, but if you give a 12-month subscription to Julie, we will give you 1,000 screen printed electrodes. So this could be very interesting because essentially the screen printed electrodes are becoming free, and it's really the Julie that which is becoming the thing, let's say, you purchase, but everything else, the potentiostats and the screen printed electrodes, are becoming free. So it'll make very low cost. Essentially, when we're sending these things around the world, we'll be basically sending around these free products. So if I want to do a sort of summary, it's been a pretty busy sort of week, essentially. So some news from this week: we're sponsoring a new PhD at Swansea. Swansea has appeared quite a few times in today's conversation. We did a nice webinar this Thursday regarding pH electrodes, continuous glucose monitoring, and also the cost of GFETs versus graphene screen printed electrodes. We put some new data out on nitrate sensing into the public domain. It was nice to meet with the Undersecretary for the of Wales. So it was nice to meet a Minister of the Crown in the UK, and he really liked the nitrate sensor. It was nice of our engineers to sort of show their love for our new building by taking pictures of it in the beautiful sunshine. It was nice that one of our interns was able to put a YouTube video up there and talk about her, her authentic experience at ZP. We are recruiting new interns for 2022, and going forward, ZP wants to essentially give away potential stats and screen printed electrodes, and these will be part of licenses for Julie. So I want to say thank you very much for Saran and Aftab for being here this week. This will also become a podcast and will become available through kind of your favorite podcast streaming system. So thanks very much, and don't forget we have our webinar on Thursday at 8 a.m. London time. Basically more of a technical, let's say, presentation. I also noticed that RMET is online. So RMET, we have 3 PhDs available at the moment: Swansea, Birmingham, and Warwick. Check them out. All right, take care, guys, and very nice of you all to attend.